I knew my mother would laugh. She has a very specific laugh for public rooms, a thin, private sound she releases when she believes I've overestimated myself again. It followed me through school conferences, scholarship interviews. Even the hospital the night I told them I'd withdrawn from medical school. So, when I stepped into the courtroom and heard that breathy, contained chuckle, I wasn't surprised. My father didn't laugh, he never does. He just shakes his head a slow, disappointed movement, as if he's watching a child try to carry something too heavy. They were seated together at the petitioner's table. I took the opposite side. The case wasn't dramatic, no criminal charges, no scandal, it was a conservatorship dispute. They had filed to gain financial oversight of a trust left in my name by my late grandmother. Their argument was simple: I was historically unstable, professionally inconsistent, emotionally volatile. They had documentation, therapy records from my early 20s, letters from when I changed career paths twice. A gap year they still refer to as the disappearance. They were prepared to prove I couldn't be trusted with autonomy. The clerk announced my name. My mother leaned toward my father. I saw her mouth move. Watch this. The judge glanced down at the docket casually at first. Then he looked up. Really looked, his face changed in increments. Recognition doesn't strike like lightning, it dawns like illness. His complexion drained first. Then his hand, still resting on the bench, tightened slightly. He leaned toward the clerk and whispered something I couldn't hear. Then, barely audible, but the room was silent enough. Dear God, is that really her? The courtroom shifted, not loudly, chairs adjusted. People looked from him to me and back again. My parents looked confused, not concerned. The judge cleared his throat. Hale, he said carefully. Before we proceed, for the record, could you confirm your current professional standing? My mother's shoulders stiffened. This was not how these hearings usually began. I stood. I am lead counsel for the Federal Oversight Review on fiduciary abuse cases. I specialize in contesting unlawful conservatorships and financial coercion. The clerk's fingers paused over the keyboard. The judge nodded slowly. And is it correct that you argued the Bennett appeal last year? Yes, Your Honor. A murmur moved through the back row. The Bennett appeal had made national headlines, a landmark reversal of a decades-old guardianship statute. It had been sealed until publication. My name had been attached only in professional circles. Not in my parents' world. The judge removed his glasses. I presided over the preliminary filing in that matter, he said quietly. Your brief changed the direction of that case. Silence expanded. My mother's mouth parted slightly, not in understanding yet, but in recalculation. My father finally stopped shaking his head. The judge's voice became formal again, though something in it had shifted. For clarity, he said, addressing the room. Hale is not only competent in matters of financial autonomy, she is nationally recognized in protecting it. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't dramatize it. He just stated it, and that was enough. My mother leaned toward her attorney, whispering urgently now. Papers shuffled. The narrative they'd rehearsed began to fracture in real time. Their lawyer attempted to pivot. Your Honor, past instability remains relevant. The judge lifted a hand, not aggressively, just decisively. I am aware of the statutory threshold for incapacity, he said. And I am also aware that professional excellence in the specific field of fiduciary law carries substantial weight. He turned to me. Ms. Hale, do you wish to submit additional documentation? I could have. I had brought everything. Evaluations, awards, articles published under my name dismantling the very framework they were trying to use against me. But I didn't. No, Your Honor. I said. I believe the record is sufficient. I didn't look at my parents. The ruling was procedural, calm, unemotional, petition denied. No grounds for conservatorship, trust remains solely under my authority. Costs assigned to petitioners, it wasn't cinematic. No gasps, no shouting. Just ink on paper. But something irreversible had happened. When the gavel fell, my mother didn't laugh again. She didn't cry either, she stared at the table, as if searching for the daughter she thought she understood. My father finally looked at me, not dismissively this time. Not proudly either, just uncertain. And that uncertainty was new. As the courtroom emptied, the judge remained seated. He gave me a small nod, not reverent, not familiar. Professional acknowledgement. Good work on Bennett, he said quietly as I gathered my folder. Thank you, Your Honor. That was all. Outside, the sky was aggressively ordinary. Cars passed. A woman argued into her phone near the steps. Life did not pause to honor personal revelations. My parents exited several minutes later. They stopped a few feet away from me. My mother opened her mouth, then closed it. There are apologies that are owed. And there are apologies people aren't capable of giving. This felt like the second kind. My father spoke first. You never told us. I considered that. You never asked. It wasn't sharp. It wasn't bitter. It was simply true. They had frozen me at 23, the unstable one, the dramatic one, the disappointment. They never updated the file. I didn't wait for more. There was no reconciliation scene waiting to happen. No embrace. No cinematic breakthrough. But when I walked down those courthouse steps, I felt something quieter and far more durable than revenge. For years, I had tried to argue myself into existence in front of them. To prove, persuade, defend. Today I hadn't argued at all. Authority had spoken. Not because I orchestrated humiliation. Not because I outperformed them theatrically. But because the truth had matured without their permission. They had laughed when I walked in. They didn't laugh when I left. And for the first time in my life, I didn't need them to understand who I was. The record already did.